Hello, so welcome to the seventh Intelligent RPA webinar. I'm Julian Leonard, and today I will talk to you about how to use input and output parameters. So the first thing will be a little presentation on the webinar, and in the second part we will execute the webinar, and in the third part I will answer on question about this subject. So to be able to reuse your scenario, it's important to identify output and inputs. This is in this webinar we will detail how to configure these parameters and how to use them. This concept is very important because when you will use a process in user task in the Cloud Studio, it will be very important to transfer data to other process. We will see in another webinar how to create process and how to trigger API with this input parameters. So the version used for Intelligent RPA, it's the 1.05, and that's it. I think we can begin. So the first thing, I will create project. Okay. And we will create a simple workflow that will just add taxes on an invoice. Okay, so the first thing is to create the context. So I create a context for my workflow. Okay, I will create an invoice object with an amount, country, and no, and maybe a customer name. Okay, and we want also in our context, we want the amount with taxes. It will be the output of our project. Okay, so now we have to define this context for this workflow. So here we define the output data manager. We define this context as input data manager. And here you see, if you want to select the input, you can select only members of the context that you select. So here we will set the invoice as input and the amount taxes as output. Okay, and we will just quickly develop the project, the workflow. So I have to build. Okay. Now if I go into my workflow, okay, write custom code is here. So let's just
Julian, can you just increase the font size? It's very difficult.
Yeah, it will be better. Okay.
Yeah, this is better. Thank you.
Okay. So I will increase the amount with taxes. Okay. No. Here I want to use the text. Okay. One thing, one important thing, it's the parameters that you will give with the factory. For the moment, it's only string parameters. So here you have to convert this one as an integer to compute. Okay. Okay, seems good. So now I have to export my project. Okay. Okay, I have to go into the factory. Okay, so I will create a new project. So yeah, maybe I was too quick. In the factory, you have to go into the project tab, that is the Cloud Studio. And so I create a new project. Here you are in the Cloud Studio. You can import desktop packages. So I will do this. I will import the desktop package that I've just created. Okay. Okay, now we can see the workflow that we have created in the scenario list. You have to expose this scenario usable as a skin. If you go here, you will see the input and the output parameter. Okay. So I have only to click on save and go back to the processes and generate a package. So now if I go back to the factory and I go to packages, I will see my package here. Okay. If I deploy my package, okay, let's wait. Yeah, okay, it's deployed. Now I can create maybe a schedule, and if you go here, you can change the parameter. So let's just try with this parameter. Okay, and yeah, we'll run now. So I only have to oh, okay. Oh, it's already launched. Okay, so now if I go into jobs, yeah, we can see it's ready. My agent is idle. Okay. Maybe, yeah. Okay. Yeah, now it's successful. So if you go here, you will see the output of your scenario. Here it's 110. Okay, let's just change the parameters. In deployment. If I change this. Okay, now click on run now. So I have another job, and this time it will be FR. Okay, it's running. Now it's successful, and yeah, here you see it's 130. We have saw how to use input and output parameters. It's a really quick webinar, but it's really important for the next webinar that will execute process and API triggers. Okay, is there any questions?
Yeah, so what is the difference between the input and input data manager here?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's little, maybe it can be used a little confusing. This is why we are making, I'm making a webinar on this. Input data manager, it's the whole context, of the workflow. Okay. Here, when you select input and output, it's just to tell to the factory that the input of your workflow it's in this section of your context, okay, and the same for the output. This is why the output and input must be some sub objects of your context. I am clear?
Okay, so can you increase the font? What did you map to input data manager? The entire folder which you have created there, is it?
Yeah, okay. I will not be able to increase the zoom.
Okay, so you have mapped the folder to the input data manager, is it?
Yeah, I've mapped this one. Okay, the first line, the folder. Okay.
Okay.
And as input, I have mapped the first folder that contain different fields. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And for output, I have just mapped this field, but you can map all the fields that you want. The only mandatory field or mandatory thing, it's what you map must be in the context. Okay.
Okay. So input data manager should ideally contain the entire folder structure of input and output, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other question?
I have a query on this input and output for the Ajax call, which I have developed. I have done the same scenario. Okay. But when I don't use input and output data and directly use the same thing in the Ajax call URL, it works fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the same for Ajax call.
Oh, it's a different for Ajax call, is it? You can't use the same thing.
You try to use ctx.ajax.call.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. It's another thing. We will answer to you because with Jerome Grondin we worked on this yesterday.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will close the webinar. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.